Hello students, welcome to SGC online classes. Uh, Today we are going to start a chapter of basic problems of an economy in class 9 in economics. In this chapter, we'll see what are the problems the Indian economy faces, what are the reasons for these problems, and what are the measures which can be adopted to overcome these problems. Okay, so now let's see first what are the problems of an economy. There are 4 problems in an economy. First problem is what to produce. What to produce means it's a big thing that whenever we intend to produce something, the first question is that what material we need to produce. This decision is very critical so far as demand is concerned. We need to produce those goods which are having good demand in the market. Now it is up to the manufacturer and the producer to decide whether to produce guns or butter. That's an example which we are given. Whether we opt for capital goods like machines, equipment, etc., or consumer goods. In an economy which are not developed or developing or underdeveloped, there producing cell phone, producing some high-end electronic gadgets are not required, because we need to produce the goods which are required for the daily use of the consumers. That is why we need to see the economical infrastructure and economical position of that particular country, and then we need to decide what to produce. So far as demands are concerned, and supply can be done in according to demand, and the manufacturer also can get better return for their manufactured goods. Now second question is problem, how to produce. To manufacture goods, we know that there are so many factors required. Some technological developments are required, labors are required, capitals investments are required. So whenever we decide first that this material we need to produce, then the second question arises, how we need to produce. Suppose we are planning to produce certain goods in an area where labor is not available as per the requirement of that particular manufacturing goods. Then it would be difficult for the manufacturer to produce that goods because lack of skilled labor. If we decided to produce certain electronic items, we need to see whether their raw materials are easily available, whether technical know-hows are required, easily available, whether the professionals are there in that particular area, and most importantly, the capital investment. That is the biggest factor. We can produce certain many goods, but if we need to produce big items, we need big capital investment. So now we need to see whether the manufacturer producer can be in a position to invest that capital to manufacture that goods. Next, for whom to produce? Who is going to consume that goods? If we produce a goods whose market is not there, means demand is not that much, then it will be a problem for the manufacturer to sell up the goods. It would be a waste. So before producing the goods, we need to have a proper understanding of the market scenario, proper understanding of the consumer's demand, their taste, their preferences. On that basis, we need to produce their goods. What provision should be made for economic growth? Can a society use all its resources for current consumption? Yes, it can. However, it is not likely to do so. The reason is simple. If a society uses all its resources for current consumption, then its production capacity would never increase. What provision should be made for economic growth? Therefore, the standard of living and the income of a member of the society will remain constant. Now, question is, what is the definition of economic resources? Economic resources are those scarce resources which help in the production of goods and services. There are three classifications are there in economic resources. One is property resource, the second one is human resource, and the third one is capital resource. Let's see one by one, what does it mean? Property resource means, in the property resource, in the economics, we include land and capital. The term land is used to describe all natural resources which are used in the process of production and yield income. It includes the agricultural land, forest land, mineral deposits, fisheries, rivers, everything. It comes onto lake. And the term capital refers not only the money which we are investing. Capital includes the machinery, the equipment, the tools, factories, transportations, all are included in the capital. So if we see the capital resource, the entire property resource, it is divided into two parts, land and capital. Land includes everything, means the agricultural land, forest land, fisheries, lakes, mineral deposits, all. And whenever we are talking about the capital, it includes not only the money, it includes the capital assets as well. The machinery, the equipment, the furniture, the tools, the factory sheds, transportations, etc. Next is human resource. That is very, very important in any production. It includes the labor, the skilled labor and unskilled labor. Sometimes for a production, the skilled labor is required, of course, but unskilled laborers are also required. When we are talking about the human resource, it includes the factory worker, doctors, teacher, everyone. They all fall under the category of labor. Now, capital resource. The term capital resource is an economic concept that refers to man-made elements employed to produce goods and services. They are resources that allow the company to carry on with its productive activities. Capital resources are assets that are used to make other goods and services. Capital resources means which are required to produce their goods and services. For every production, from a needle to ship, if you see, we need the machinery, the equipment, the tools. Even for when we are going to doctor, we have seen for testings and other things they require equipments, medical equipments. So these are all falling under the category of capital resources. Now, how to manage these resources in a very effective manner? The more effectively you use these resources, more outcome will come in terms of production. First, way to manage the resources is plan to plan. Planning is very important. If you cannot make a proper planning at the beginning of the projects cannot run in a profitable way. It's very important to make a proper planning. How to make the entire projects from the beginning to end. On the basis of your efficient planning only, the business grows and the business gives more and more revenue. Number two, take a systematic approach. After planning, it's a time to implement that planning. When we are talking about the implementation of the planning, first step is to take a systematic approach. Setting a baseline. What is that baseline? On the basis of your previous performance, you make a baseline. And from that baseline, you need to improve for the better. Benchmarking your performance. You can benchmark your performance in comparison to other companies' performance in the same product. Suppose you are making a product. You have seen or you are understanding that your product, the performance is excellent. The production capacity, what we are doing is good. But you need to compare this performance with the same industry of other manufacturers. Then only you can make a comparison and you can understand where you lack, where you need to develop. Forming an action strategy. Once the prospective improvements have been highlighted, it is time to form an action scheme about how to accomplish them. When the strategy is formed, benchmarking is done, then now it is time to forming the action strategy. Now it is time to do the actual action. Fixing targets and responsibilities. Whenever you do a project without fixing target, you cannot accomplish that project. You need to fix the target. Target in terms of timeline, target in terms of cost, target in terms of cost per unit, whatever it is. And the responsibility is also to be allocated in a proper way. Observing and reporting. Set up reporting procedure and measures your performance at regular intervals to ensure that you are on track. Every fortnight or every month or every quarterly, you need to analyze your performance so that you can understand whatever you have planned at the beginning, what target you have fixed, you have achieved that target or you are lacking behind that target. It would be helpful for you to overcome that. Reviewing actions and performance. After that step, you need to review your actions and performance for betterment. Number 3 way to effectively manage resources is use of technology where possible. We know that this is the era of technology. Everywhere we need to use latest technology, which makes the production capacity more and the outcome and the output also becomes more competitive. The use of technology is much more beneficial. Use of resource management software. This is a software by which we can measure whether our projects are on track or not. Like we have seen There are some software in accounting. There are some software in other management functions. This is also a management software where we can measure, we can understand where we stand and to measure our progress. Now, the next one is scheduling the project. Scheduling the project means the efficient time management includes adding every little task to your schedule. Whenever we are doing a project, time management is very, very important. Even when we are preparing for our exams, we have seen we made a time management of our entire preparation. Same thing happens in project. For every little work, we made a schedule, how much time it will take. And we need to monitor whether it has taken the more time or it has been finished within the time limit has been fixed. Generating a work schedule. Resourceful allocation includes assigning employees to projects and tasks within those projects. Operational schedules should be implemented for the upcoming stages on the project. Operational schedules also to be made. Operational means whenever you are doing a project, the entire operation should be made in a proper scheduling. Projects that run longer than 2 weeks must be broken down into parts. This is nothing but to monitor whether your projects are on track or not. If it is going beyond your targeted time, then the cost will increase, which has not been budgeted for. Then it will affect your overall profit. Producing a weekly schedule. It is very, very important. When a project is for 1 year, better to make a micro scheduling. That is scheduling for 1 week. It would be better to monitor, and whenever you find any deviation from that schedule, immediately you can rectify in the next week. It's a daily basis monitoring is very, very important. But when the project is going for a longer period, it may not be possible for a daily basis monitoring, but weekly basis monitoring is very much important to make the projects on track. So guys, today we have seen the problems of the projects and what are the ways to minimize the problems and how to effectively manage the resources. Thank you so much